Imagine a forest of high-rise buildings, built without the contribution of a single architect, and with only the most basic materials and machinery. Imagine 300 of these buildings, crammed together into a single Hong Kong city block.
And imagine that over 35,000 people live and work there, and governed by building codes, health and safety laws, or other regulations. The picture that emerges might look something like this. This is the Kowloon walled city, one of Hong Kong's most notorious and most misunderstood communities.
And until its demolition in 1993, it was the most densely populated place on the planet.
I'm Greg Gerard.
And I'm Ian Lambert.
And 20 years ago, we were here photographing the Kowloon walled city, which used to stand behind us.
Our aim was to show this extraordinary place, not as the slum it was often described as, nor as the den of iniquity many in Hong Kong believed it to be, but as an ordinary community that organised and shaped itself in response to a set of very unusual circumstances.
This was a community in every sense of the word, and though perhaps not a true city, its buildings still rose to 14 stories and more, and it certainly contained a city's worth of activity, with everyone working and living cheek by jowl in hard and uncompromising conditions. The Reverend Albert Ng lived in the city from the mid-1970s to the late 1980s and remembers it well.
The moment I got the news that I can move away from the walled city to live in a student dormitory in Hong Kong U, that was such a joy. We all want to leave that place. Yes, we did consider the walled city our home, but I'm sure I'm just a normal person. I want a better living environment. I want running water into my home. I want a clean environment. So I was very happy.
Nearly all the photographs were taken between 1987 and 1991, when the city was still fully occupied and surprisingly unthreatening. In an earlier life, in particular during the 1950s and early 60s, the walled city really had been a den of iniquity. But over time, most of these activities had receded, though the many urban myths lived on.
For nearly 40 years, the walled city evolved, mutated, and thrived by escaping official attention. But starting in the summer of 1990, its entire population was gradually moved out and rehoused. And by 1993, the demolition of the walled city began. In that same year, Ian and I published the results of our 5-year exploration. And for 20 years, through numerous reprintings, City of Darkness was the book of record for this extraordinary community.
And so it might have remained, but in 2012, with the 20th anniversary of the city's demolition imminent, yet another reprint seemed inappropriate. It was time, we decided, to bring the story up to date.
The new edition will include many of our original photographs and interviews, but there will also be several new sections on the city's architecture, how it grew and developed over time, on the city's peculiar legal status under both Chinese and English rule, and how this affected how the city was run.
Another section will explore the myths and realities of the Triad's activities there, and how the police tried their best to keep up with each new development. And finally, another new essay will look at how the city's influence has spread into popular culture worldwide, such as in books, art, films, and computer games.
Ian and I have funded all of this new research, and the book is nearly ready to print. But printing it without your help is impossible. For Ian and I, the book, both in its original form and in its new form as City of Darkness Revisited, has been very much a labor of love. Our aim is to cut through the many rumors and myths and tell the story of the city as it actually was. Thank you. We hope you can help.